Thank you for joining us here at Satchel Paige Stadium as we have East taking on Lincoln Prep. Top of the first on the wild pitch on the throw to third. A second run comes across and the Bears lead this one 2-0. Those runs being scored only courtesy of one hit, an infield single by West, the second batter. Lincoln Prep pitcher Jackson Coleman in trouble with runners on first and second. That pitch is high to Cleveland Garrett. 3 ball, 1 strike. Takes a hack at that one. So the count is full. Runners on first and second. That pitch is outside, so again, the bases are loaded full of Bears. Just one out here in the first. View taking a look at ball 1. That pitch is low and outside for ball 2. Three straight balls coming from Coleman. Ball 4 walks in, another run. Ovalle comes in to score. It makes it 3-0 Bears. Alex Workin already in the bullpen warming up for Lincoln Prep. Coach Bear makes a trip to the mound. And it looks like we will have a pitching change. And so freshman Alex Workin now coming in with just 1 out, bases loaded here in the first inning. Jackson Coleman lasting 1/3 of an inning, issuing 4 walks and an infield single and surrendering 3 runs. Working, a 5'6" freshman, taking his warm-up tosses. The next East batter will be Arthur Perez. We saw East last week on the Game of the Week over at the Kansas City Urban Youth Academy, where they outlasted Cristo Rey 17-15. And we are ready to resume action. Coach is making the official changes on the scorecard. First pitch from Workin is a ball. The pressure on this freshman relief pitcher coming in the first inning with just 1 out and bases loaded.
Hey, Kenitra, how are you?
I'm all right.
All right, just checking in with you. Just feel like it's such a beautiful day here. I was in the neighborhood, figured I'd just come on by and just stick my head in the door. Pressure, as far as being a freshman pitcher coming in. You don't want to have any kind of extra pressure put on these young men, but this is an opportunity for him to show us exactly what he is made out of.
Strike 3. Runner, ball gets away, and the tag is applied. Ball is dropped. The throw from left was in time by Bryant, but the catcher signs, drops the ball, and so it is now 4-0 East. Strike is in there.
It's already been quite an exciting inning, and I apologize for just joining the broadcast. We've been doing a lot of technical issues and getting everything squared away. D. Jackson here and Kenitra Pulliams from beautiful Satchel Paige Stadium. Kenitra, you were telling me that this is your inaugural trip to Satchel Paige?
My inaugural game.
Game, yes. That's what
I've been over to this historic facility, but it's my first time actually seeing live game action.
Well, we've got a doozy here in the first inning to get us going, no doubt about it. And we've had an opportunity to see both of these two teams play over the last week or so. We saw Lincoln defeat Northeast, and we saw East and Cristo Rey just a couple of nights ago. So two teams that have played each other once before, but some exciting interscholastic league baseball here from Satchel Paige Stadium this afternoon.
And once again, the Bears are full. The Bears are on base. The bases are full of Bears. As Workin walks his first batter. So now we have the number 9 hitter, Gonzalez, at the plate. He swings away at the first pitch. Throw back to first.
Both of these teams loaded with young talent. You know, there's not a lot of senior leadership around here. You know, we talk about Lee Allen Jr. and all the things that he's done here for this program, making his last appearance here this season. But, you know, a lot of young guys expected to come up through the pipeline.
That ball gets away from the catcher. All the runners hold their position. Solid contact made to second for one. On to first in time for the double play to get out of the inning. But not before Bears put 4 across, leave the bases full. They score 4 on 1 hit, 5 walks. After a half inning of play, it's East 4 and Lincoln Prep coming up to bat. Tracy Thomas will lead things off in the home half of the first inning. First pitch is a ball. Chris Thornton on the mound for East. Second pitch is low. Lifts the ball right to the third baseman. Ivan Avaye makes a leaping catch for the first out.
Great play by Baez to get that to stay focused. You know, it's not easy when you're going toward third base, and a lot of times guys are saying, hey, I don't want to trip over the bag. So he had great presence of mind to kind of know where he is, kind of like a wide receiver who's looking for that boundary line, just kind of tiptoeing his way along the side to make a great play.
And then traveling from the sun into the shade right along the line.
The shadows will be a-coming.
Elliot Abnos is the batter now. He has to hop out of the way, but not before getting plunked by Thornton. So Lincoln Prep has a runner aboard.
And a lot of ground to make up.
Runner takes off. No throw issued, so takes second easily.
So now Blue Tigers will have a runner in scoring position for Lee Allen Jr. Headed to Crowley College next year. Signed his letter of intent not too long ago. Big jump by Abnos.
Manufacturing runs without a hit. Lee Allen Jr., the DH for the Blue Tigers. Solid single through the hole. Misplays it. Allen picks up at second, keeps up the momentum, takes off for third, and the throw. Jet decides not to slide and is able to go into third standing up.
Quite lucky right there, because as he rounded first base, Coach Bear clearly had the stop sign up, and Lee looking all the way in left field, I guess he missed the stop sign because he ran directly through that stop sign. Great call by Coach Bear, because he should have been thrown out by a mile. Aggressive base running, but not smart base running, especially when you're suffering injuries like Allen has been. There's no need to get hurt in this situation. But he does drive in and run, and the Blue Tigers do get on the board.
So we have one on, one in, one out. This is Marcus Smith now standing in the box. Ball is high and over his head.
Smith, the sophomore, third baseman, has developed into quite an all-around ball player here.
Ball catches the corner. 2 balls, 1 strike. That ball's high.
We talked about the intensity that East brought the other day against the Crystal Ray Pumas. And today, I don't want to say they were more subdued, but they seemed to be a little bit more focused, than they were the other day.
Swing at a pitch high out of the zone. So now we got a full count here. Takes a look at ball 4, so now there are runners on the corners.
And that pitch just missed on the outside. The umpire, home plate umpire, Phil Harris, squeeze in the zone right there.
Runner takes off for second, so now there are runners in scoring position.
Bryant taking that pitch to give Smith an opportunity to steal second base.
Leans out of the way, takes ball.
Runner on second base, third base.
That pitch is high. Thornton looks in for the sign. Swing and a miss.
Bryant just a little over-aggressive right there. That ball was a little bit inside, and he tried to fight that off. He actually is lucky because he would have got jammed. That ball would have sawed him in half. So, new life.
Another empty swing, and that's the second out of the inning.
Give Thornton credit, starting to really gain command over his pitches. And again, we talked about this the other day. Throwing strikes is not always throwing the ball over the heart of the plate. He's doing a great job of going inside, outside. You see him hitting the zone up high, going down low. So great ball movement here by at the hands of Thornton.
At first pitch is a ball. Alonzo Bird fouls one off the end of the bat.
You know, you love to see those lefties get out front and make good, solid contact here. And, you know, we've seen a lot of ball games over the years here at Satchel Paige, and one of the big thrills for any batter, especially the left-handed batters, is to clear that fence over there in right field. It's only 300 feet, but when you clear it over the top, you feel like the strongest guy in the world.
Took a hack there. Just a second strike. Wes, the catcher, thought it was an inning-ending strikeout.
Sun will do that to you. When it starts to heat up and you're wearing all that guard back there, you're ready to get out of there as soon as you can.
And here it is, you know, temperatures in the 80s here.
Is this the highest temperature of the year so far?
Yes, the last time it was this warm was back in October. Chopper fouled away, stays alive.
Crazy Kansas City weather. You never know what you're going to – it's like the box of chocolates in Forrest Gump.
There it is. Last week we had snow. The winds seem to have died down. Earlier they were very gusty out of the southwest. Runner to third. Steal of home.
So Lee Allen finds a way to make it happen after that almost costly base running mistake. He's able to turn that into a run.
Chopper to third, runner. Runner has to retreat back to second. If you're Thornton, would you have made the throw to third? Would you have come home with the pitch?
Well, it's always hard to say what a guy should have done, but you know, you always want to step off. Once you step off, then you can run directly at that runner. You have to make him commit, and you always want to run that runner back to the base in which you came from. So you want to make that little half moon banana and kind of send him back. They're running all day on him. Another stolen base there as Smith goes from second base to third base. Had an excellent jump.
He was almost on third before the pitch was delivered.
You're looking for something right down the middle here, a fastball, and you're looking dead red.
Rips one right, just foul. The timing of that swing.
He was just a little bit out in front of it. Just got to be patient. Stay back, wait for it. You knew it was coming because, I mean, you don't want to get too far deep in the count. Pitcher doesn't want to lose that batter, so he's got to go with his best pitch. And so far, Thornton's been really good with the fastball.
Perfectly placed liner over the head of the second baseman. That ball rolls all the way to the warning track. Bird is on his horse, looking for the tag, missed by Ovalle. So he ends up on third, drives in a run.
Wow, I got to say, I'm a little surprised at that. It looked like, to me, that he had run right into the tag. But, hey, we're in the booth. The umpires have the best vantage point, and that's what they do. They watch the play. But, obviously, he was trying to squeeze that into a triple. Great job of the defense on the relay throw to third base. Ball beating by a mile, and it looked like the third baseman came out to make the tag aggressively, and I guess he just apparently got out of the way and missed the tag. So that's baseball for you. You hate to be cliche, but the ball beating by a mile should have been an obvious out, but apparently umpire says no tag.
And now we have John Wilson the fourth. Ball gets all the way back to the backstop. And a runner comes in. Bird.
He obviously missed the plate. I got a little beside myself. But, you know, if you watch that real close,
Bird,
thank you. Bird overstepped the plate, and it was amazing how nobody noticed that close down there near home plate. I was wondering who's going to make that call, but nonetheless, another big break for the Blue Tigers. Our instant replay machine is in the shop. So otherwise, we check the replay.
Wilson not in the original batting order, but he comes in after the pitching change was made in the top of the first, with Workin coming in to relieve Coleman.
And when you look at the future of Lincoln baseball, Wilson's name is going to be at the top of the list. One of the most promising freshmen that has come through the program in a long time. You've seen him behind the plate. He really hasn't been catching very long, but he's shown a lot of promise. And he does double duty. He'll play in the varsity game, and then he'll suit up for the JV team as well. He's got that long, lanky body that you like to see out of a catcher, and has the opportunity to be a really, really great player for years to come here.
Timeout called. Conference with the pitcher as we get back to the top of the order.
It looks like Thornton's kind of ginger. And this is something else that we saw last week. Very unconventional mound visits, sidebars on the side. Usually you'll see the manager or the head coach in high school baseball go to the mound, and you're taught as a pitcher to stay on the mound until the coach gets there. So they're doing something a little bit different here.
Awkward slide into second. Maybe caught his spike.
Yeah, you hate to see that, especially when there's no throw going down where you didn't even have to slide. But he got a great jump there.
More traditional textbook slide there.
And not a bad throw by the catcher there, right on the money. In a tight game like this, Kenitra, this is where you're going to see that proverbial dog come out. You want to see which team has that intestinal fortitude, the will to compete. Now, one thing I don't like here is seeing the third baseman hold on a runner at third base at the high school level. That's something that you do at Pee Wee ball and Little League. But, nonetheless, I would love to see him just stay back and field his position. I mean, holding him on does absolutely nothing in this scenario. We got to get back to teaching the fundamentals of baseball. And once you get to this level, you got to step your game up.
Run comes across. The throw down to first after the strikeout. Ball was dropped, so the runner is safe at first. Another run scores. Lincoln Prep able to answer the Bears match the Bears 4 runs and add on one more. We have a designated runner now in for the pitcher, Alex Workin.
It'll be Jayton Suddeth. Is that how you say that? Coming in to be the courtesy runner. Courtesy runner, we've talked about that a few times. You get the opportunity for your pitcher or catcher to take a little breather. You let somebody run for them.
Slide and then kind of bounce his way into second.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I'm thinking maybe there's something needs to be raked out there near second base. Maybe there's a little pothole or something right there.
Uneven terrain.
Even terrain, yeah. Because I would hate to think that these guys just don't know how to slide. And that can be so dangerous. If you don't know how to protect yourself and slide properly, there's a lot of things that could go wrong. And that's the second consecutive base runner that we've seen have trouble out there. Or my third option, maybe there's a gremlin out there. The Incredible Man wins again. He's undefeated,
Dirt Devil?
The Dirt Devil?
Because unlike at the Urban Youth Academy where, you had the controlled surface, this one we have, the grass and the dirt.
You know what? That is an excellent point, Kenitra, because a lot of these kids have moved on to the synthetic surface, and it plays a little bit different. So once they get out here to a traditional baseball field, you start your slide a little later than usual, and you can't do some of the things that you can do on the synthetic surface.
Foul tip to Evans.
Evans started that double play to end last inning, playing second base with a great flip over to the shortstop. Just trying to get something going here offensively. Ducks on the pond with an opportunity to drive in a run here.
That ball is way outside, wild pitch. And the throw is in time for Thornton to spin around and to tag out Suddeth to end the inning, but not before Lincoln Prep scores 5 runs on 2 hits, leaving 2 on. for the top of the second as we go back to the top of the order. J.P. Marshall to lead things off as he did in the first. That's ball one. Marshall out ahead of that pitch, kind of tweaks his back on that swing. It's in there for strike two. Swing and a miss as Workin strikes out Marshall. Mario Puente now in. Swings at strike one. Same pitch, same location, same result, strike two. Pitch from the southpaw. Chopper, back to the pitcher. The throw to first was a bit high, and so on the throwing error, runner aboard. Should have been out number two. Instead, we got a runner on first. For Arturo Vega. Runner takes off for second. Throw is to the third base side. So Puente is in. Vega walked in the first inning in his first appearance. Strike, throw, not in time for the swipe tag. So Puente is on third after reaching on an error. Chopper rolls foul. Pitch is outside for a ball. Lifts the ball to short, makes the tag, and the throw in time to third base to double off the runner. And for the second consecutive inning, Lincoln Prep gets out of it with a double play. Another strong display of defense gets Lincoln Prep out of the inning. And so we go to the bottom of the second. Lincoln Prep leading by a run, 5-4. First pitch swinging. Over the shoulder catch, not able to be made by the shortstop, J.P. Marshall. So we got a runner aboard, Tracy Thomas.
Thomas trying to get something going here, leading off, being aggressive, going after that first pitch. And Abnos is a great guy to have up right now because, you know, you can do a lot of different things, hit and run, move the runner over. You got a guy that can steal, so look for them to manufacture some small ball runs.
Thomas takes off for second. Lincoln Prep, well, both teams have not been bashful about swiping extra bases to get runners into scoring position. This time, after the foul ball, Thomas is chased back to first. This time he takes second without a throw. Elliot Abnus was hit by a pitch in his first appearance. Lifts a high ball, almost in the exact same spot, but this time the left fielder Vega is able to make the catch. Brings up Lee Allen. He had a single in his first appearance. Thomas takes off for third, no throw. That pitch is in the dirt. Thomas thinks about it. Now he's caught in no man's land. The throw to third is high and over Avalle's head. That allows Thomas to score. So it is 6-4, Blue Tigers.
And we saw some great promise at the beginning of the game by the East Bears, and I don't know if they just came out too hot and can't sustain or what it is, but the Bears are going to have to turn it around quickly.
That pitch is low and outside. Skies one up. And Ovalle makes the call, calls off Thornton.
It's always good you always want to see a pitcher that's aggressive, but people will tell you 9 times out of 10, you don't want your pitcher anywhere around that ball. You got to think about it. He's pitching. When you're pitching, you're coming down off of that mound, and your balance is going toward the pitcher or toward the plate, and you've got to get your footing and circle around to get toward that third base side. The third baseman doing his job by calling him off and making the play. But, guys, little leaguers at home, let your third baseman get that one because you are at such a disadvantage when you're pitching and you're trying to go and catch a pop-up like that.
Because your momentum on the pitch is coming forward towards home, and then all of a sudden you have to move laterally towards third to make that play. That pitch is high. And also the focus, you release the pitch, it's coming forward. You're not seeing it directly from your third baseman's standpoint. Another ball. 2 balls, 1 strike is the count for Smith, who walked last time up. Suddenly, Thornton having trouble locating the zone. Took a big cut there, but comes up empty, so the ball count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. That's the ball 4.
Tried to get him with the changeup and took a lot off of it, and that one just stayed up high in the zone. So a great piece of hitting there, a great eye, I should say, by Smith to lay off that high floater.
Swing and a miss there for Saron Bryant. But Smith winds up on second after stealing a base. East not doing a lot to hold the runners on. So Smith winds up on third without a throw, goes in standing up. That strikeout ends the inning. One run scored on 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. After 2 complete, it is 6-4 Lincoln Prep. Cleanup hitter Ivan Ovalle will lead things off. Top of the third for East. Slow swing and a miss. Foul tip. 0-2, Ovalle in the hole. It's in there for a ball. The grounder right back to the mound, takes a funny hop on the grass and kind of catches Workman on the chin, nods that he's okay.
You'll get a visit from the pitching coach, Preston Ellsworth, former teammate of mine and former roommate. Got to give him a shout out.
And that's what we were talking about. When you have the natural playing surface of the grass, the ball carries differently than it does on the synthetic surface at the Urban Youth Academy.
And the timing is a little bit different as well. You know, the ball will get on you at a different rate. And these guys have been used to that synthetic turf where there's that natural bounce and there's no bad hops and the ball just rolls directly to you. You have to make adjustments when you're playing on the natural surface here. And a lot of times your brain doesn't automatically flip the switch like it needs to. And so that's something that these guys are going to have to be aware of.
And then also coming from an elevated position on the rubber, and the ball comes to you, so you're trying to find your footing and make a play on the ball. That's a strike.
Yeah, boy, come on.
Vega fouls one off the end of the bat. Single just over the outstretched glove of the shortstop. So now we got 2 runners on. Cleveland Garrett stands in. It's in there for a strike. Pitches outside for a ball.
East has to take advantage of the opportunity to break the game open here. You've got 2 runners on here and a pitcher that's struggling to find the zone. Now he finds the zone. He must have heard.
He said, take that.
Yeah. I'm good with that. I don't have a problem with that.
You know, after the shock of being, taking one off the chest, off the face, settle back in there.
That's that intestinal fortitude that we talked about earlier in the game. When it comes down to the guys that really want it, those guys that want to fight for it, that overcome adversity, you're going to have to take your bumps and your bruises and your lumps and all that type of stuff. Builds character.
Fouls that back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ball gets away. Ovalle scampers down to third. Runners both move up. So you got runners in scoring position.
And this is a critical inning for the Bears as they're getting a little bit of a momentum. They've got to take advantage of that momentum. And this would be the perfect opportunity to, again, break the game open, make something happen.
Reaches down to make contact, but fouls it away. So the count remains full.
Great at bat so far, continuing to fight pitches off and stay alive and make something happen. And I like the fact that he's staying within himself, just taking whatever the pitcher's giving him and trying to hit the ball the other way, which is exactly what you want to do right now with the runner on third base. Ground ball to the right side, scores a run.
It's caught looking. Garrett goes down as working with a workman effort. Vu is now your batter with 2 on. Swings for strike 1. Foul tip for strike 2. That's in there for ball 1. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 aboard. Grounder to short, takes a hop, throw to first, in time. But on the fielder's choice, run scores. That brings the Bears within 1 run. Ball 1. Ball 2 to Perez. Perez walked in his first plate appearance. Grazes the corner. 2 balls and 1 strike is the count. Three balls, 1 strike.
Working, maybe showing some signs of fatigue here. And every time I say something like that, he comes back. So he gets the best of me once again.
gets caught looking. 2 strikeouts. That one to end the inning. Both of them freezing the hitter. But East gets one back, and so after 2.5, it's 6-5. Lincoln Prep leading, and the Blue Tigers coming up to bat. Bottom of the 3rd inning, Alonzo Bird will start things off in the box for Lincoln Prep.
We were mentioning just a few moments ago that today is what day, Kenitra?
National Pretzel Day.
National Pretzel Day. One of those ballpark staples, ballpark
Oh,
food.
yeah. I mean, it's not in the "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" song, but it's not like a hot, fresh pretzel.
This is true. Hot pretzels. Your quintessential bar food.
Good, good carbs. Bird gets a hold of one, drives one to right. The outstretched glove of Perez makes the catch.
Perez looking silky smooth on that one. Telegraphed it, had it all the way. Makes a nice running catch in the gap for the first out of the inning.
Wilson takes a look at ball one.
And again, I think Wilson, when I look at potential, has to be one of the guys that you have to stick with and have to look at because his upside is so strong. I mean, here's a guy that you got that lanky frame. You can just see it build muscle over time and put on some good weight.
Willie Wilson-esque?
Very much so, very much so. So I don't know. Does he have the Willie Wilson type speed? But if you're a catcher, you don't have to have Willie Wilson type speed. So
2 balls and a strike is the count. Hard cut. 2-2. Count is full.
that one barely misses on the inside. And again, Thornton doing a great job of working his pitches in, out, up, and down.
And that's strike 3, 2 away. Here's the pitcher working now, standing in.
So, Kenitra, let me ask you this. We were discussing trips to historic Satchel Paige here, and in 2012, the Royals were hosting the All-Star Game, and they made some really, really good renovations to this ballpark, and it's become quite the jewel, and that was one of those times where you got to come out and see it. But you say this is your first opportunity to see a live game here at Satchel Paige. So far, what do you think?
I mean, you look at it, the setting. I mean, it's awesome, right in the urban core of Kansas City, and there's just something special about natural grass.
Yeah, you see the natural grass here, and you get the effects of the shadows here across home plate. Just a beautiful ballpark here. A lot of good memories here at Satchel Paige for yours truly coming up in Kansas City.
Wind blowing out today. It looks like a swirling wind kind of changing directions.
Evident by the flag poles in center field.
3 balls, 1 strike to working.
You know, there's a lot of charm associated with this ballpark. You know, there's not very many places that have such personality.
Take your base. Last time he reached on a strikeout and then an error. This time, he takes a walk, and he'll come right out of the game for the courtesy runner.
Jaden Sutton.
Yeah.
Sudeth had a very entertaining slide into second base. Last time he was the courtesy runner. Hopefully they've got the invisible man, or the dirt devil as you called him, squared away.
Fouls one away for Isaiah Evans. Pitch is high. Sudeth takes off for second.
Sudeth almost overruns the bag. His foot came off, but second baseman not able to get the tag down or hold the tag. We've seen some really interesting base running today. We've seen people run through signs. We've seen people do an olé and get over to third base after missing tags. We've seen a play at the plate where somebody overstepped home plate and nobody tagged him. It's just been an awkward day. I don't know if it's just because we're sitting up in the booth and we've got a bird's eye view of everything, but these are little things that you have to work on if you want to be successful.
Pitch is low and in the dirt. Takes the opportunity as the ball gets away to run down. Getting some pointers on base running. Another ball gets away from the catcher, but not far enough away to allow Sutter to make a play thinking about scoring from third.
And you saw Coach Kevin Beer, as you mentioned, giving him some pointers. Number one, you've got to slide. Otherwise, your momentum is going to take you off the base. How many times did we see Terrence Gore have that same issue? He's going so fast, and his momentum takes him off the base. And a good defender is going to throw that tag down and keep that glove on there and just wait for you to come off the base.
Ball four.
And Thornton seems to be wearing a little bit here. We don't see anybody up and throwing for the Bears. But they can make some type of defensive switch if they need to.
Both base runners courtesy of walks. Back to the top of the order for Tracy Thomas.
And Thornton's going to have to be real careful. A near balk there. If you notice, his front foot almost went to third base there. He's like he thought about it, and he had a runner in motion too, which can confuse some pitchers at times.
There's a pickoff play, throw to third. And the tag is in time to get Sutter to end the inning. And Lincoln Prep comes up empty here in the third inning, with the score remains 6-5, Blue Tigers.
Back live from Satchel Paige Stadium in Kansas City. The Lincoln Blue Tigers taking on the East Bears here. And holding on to a one-run lead. Not quite what I expected, Khadijah Williams.
No, especially after what we saw in the first inning, where East was scoring at will, but things have kind of settled in, and defense is now taken over.
Defense wins championships and wins ball games, and it makes the game go by a whole lot faster.
Bottom of the order, Gonzalez now to start things off in the box. Throw is outside for a ball. Shows bunt. And he's aboard.
And that's a big base runner for East. They've got to find a way to move him over and get on the board.
J.P. Marshall pulls the sleeves up. He lifts one high and short. Your center fielder, Thomas, loses his cap but makes the catch.
Great communication by Thomas and Evans going up there and calling that ball off. Your center fielder is taught to be responsible for every ball hit in the ballpark. The center fielder has the right of way over every single player on the field. He can come in and call off the infielders. If he's fast enough, he can call off the catcher if he wants to. But he's got that type of authority, and a great job of communication by those two for them to take authority and take the lead, take charge, I should say.
And the fly out was too shallow to allow the leadoff runner to advance to second. There's a single to center. The throw could have been in time to catch the runner, but instead it was high over the head of the shortstop. So now we got 2 on.
That's a very unfortunate situation for Lincoln when you've got the force out right there in front of you and you can't make the simple throw on a guy that should have been out.
Thornton chops one back to the pitcher. No throw. His speed gets him to first base, so now the bases are loaded.
And where is the guy on third base going? Are they calling that a foul ball?
Looks... Yeah, even Ovalle was confused. So, yes, it was a foul ball. So we'll do it again.
A big break for Lincoln. Home plate umpire Phil Harris making the call.
And Thornton is a little winded.
Stolen base, catching the defense sleeping.
Gives Thornton some extra time to take a couple of deep breaths.
Quite crafty there, so don't be surprised to see the runner at first go. He should go and...
Thornton grounds to third. And now gets a runner hung up between first and second. Throw off line. But the runners move up. They get the lead runner tagged out.
And the lead runner who was at third base, you saw him just kind of stop there. And I would like to think that he didn't necessarily run into the out, but was trying to buy those other guys some time to get to the next base. When you're in that situation and you're just dead to right, as they say, you've got to kind of get yourself hung up, and you have to sacrifice yourself in order for those other guys to move up. Whether they did that on purpose or not, it worked. So now they look like geniuses, because even if you're going to get out, you still have runners in scoring position, and you have a runner at third and second base. So.
And maybe he thought, because the ball was kind of hit along the third base line, that it was going to roll foul, or maybe he thought the third baseman, Smith, was going to leave it alone just to see if it was going to roll, and then it was going to stay in play, and he would have been safe. But nevertheless, we have 2 out for Ovalle with 2 on.
And I had mentioned earlier about what a great job that Smith had been doing at third base this year. He's playing shortstop this game, and Abnos over at third.
Smith and Abnos switched, yes.
So a little bit of a defensive shift in this tight ball game.
Ovalle skies one. The pitcher cuts in front of his catcher to make the 3rd out. As the Lincoln Prep fans encourage some communication.
And you have to have the communication. It's been quite wild and quite crazy. But I tell you, to make that catch, and we mentioned it earlier, how difficult it is for the first baseman to make that play. Now you got to look at those 3 guys. You see the guy there in the middle? That's one Dr. Lee Allen Sr. And I got to tell you, Dr. Lee Allen Sr. and I went to high school together. He's a couple years behind me. He graduated with my brother. And they played football for Lincoln and had an opportunity to go to college together to Virginia State University, a place you know very well.
The Trojans.
The Trojan Explosion. And
Ettrick, Virginia.
That's it. So I can remember my mom and I picking him up right off of, what is it?
I-95?
31st Street.
Oh.
Lived off of 31st Street, right around the corner from D.A. Holmes Elementary. And I remember him packing his stuff up to go to college. And we drove him across country, literally. My mom and I and my brother had got in the car with us.
1,500 miles.
Drove him to Petersburg, Virginia. Dropped him off. And proud to call him Dr. Lee Allen after all these years. And I'd like to think that we had a little something to do with him getting his education started, quite literally. And, of course, Lee Allen Jr. doing a fabulous job here for the Blue Tigers over his career. Recently had signing day at the Urban Youth Academy, where he's going to Crowley College, junior college in Kansas, the Jayhawk League.
What is it about his skill set that translates to allow him to continue his playing career at the next level?
You know, I've got a little bit of an advantage because I remember when he was a little kid, and I've seen him mature, and I've seen him grow. And when I say I've seen him grow, I've seen where he started his body type, and I've seen him put in the work, and I've seen him hit the weights. And weights for baseball is different for weights for football. It's different from weights for basketball. You have to specifically train your body for baseball in a completely different way. You know, you have to protect those shoulders and that upper torso, that upper chest area. You don't want to get too bulky and stuff. So I think he's done an excellent job of putting in the work, the dedication to better himself. And the thing I really do like about him is, you know, for a smaller guy, he's got an excellent arm, above average arm, and I think that's going to translate at the next level. His work ethic is there. Academically, you know he's there. He's going to go and just work on his skill set and hopefully move on to a bigger and better college after his time at Crowley's over. But we're definitely proud of him and glad that he has the opportunity to play at the next level.
So we go back to the top of the order here in the 4th. Tracy Thomas to start things off for Lincoln Prep. Swinging at the first pitch, drives it to center. glances off the glove of View. He's on his horse, picks up, very observantly picks up Bear, who throws up the stop sign. So he's in there with a stand-up double off the first pitch.
Although if you did not snag that one, I was really impressed with the angle that he took. People forget that when you're playing center field, it's a spoke. Think of it as a spoke in a tire and a bicycle wheel. There are so many different ways that you can go. There's so many different directions. And so you have to have the proper angle. And he took the great angle, but just could not make the backhanded grab. Almost a great catch in left center field.
Opportunistically takes off for third.
Great jump, by the way. You know, so many people think that you steal a base off a catcher, which is so not true. You steal it off the pitcher, and pitchers, they always say, are creatures of habit. If a pitcher comes set, he looks at you once, he looks at you twice. Sometimes that's all pitchers will do. You have to change your routine as a pitcher. Hold the ball just a little bit longer, bring it low, bring it high. One glance, two glance, but you have to do a better job of holding those runners when they get to second base. Otherwise, they can predict what you're going to do, and they can literally steal a base by walking from second to third.
And now we see Elliot Abnos warming up, loosening up in the bullpen for Lincoln Prep. Elijah Sanchez, the pinch hitter, because right now this would be Abnos' spot in the batting order.
What about an old school squeeze play? Hadn't seen that in a while. You got your center fielder up, pinch hitter.
And we see the shadows now. You know, it was outside the third base line, and now it's creeping up to kind of the base of the pitching mound. That pitch is high and inside. That put Sanchez aboard. So now we have runners on first and third for the aforementioned Lee Allen Jr.
It's one of my favorite words.
Aforementioned?
Aforementioned and aforementioned. I love both of them.
Runner jogs into second on a stolen base, uncontested.
Allen's definitely going to be looking to drive something up the middle or the gap.
Takes a strike. Takes the ball. That pitch is behind him.
And that's always one of the scariest pitches, if not the pitch directly at your head, that pitch behind you. It freezes you as a batter. You don't know which way to go. But, you know, give Allen credit. You have to secure the bat, because sometimes when you lose sight of the ball and you leave your bat up, you can see a lot of guys get foul balls.
And that one, he drives right to the shortstop. Fielded cleanly. The throw mishandled at first. Drives in a run on the error.
And that'll be an error on the first baseman. That ball perfectly placed. He just couldn't squeeze. He got it caught up in between, stretching for it, and, you know, a routine play, and he just can't hang on to it. Allen takes off easily.
See both the shortstop and the second baseman both playing in the gap as opposed to on the base, willing to concede a stolen base. Timeout called as we look at Thornton throws a ball down in disgust.
Which I don't understand that at all. It's not a football game. Then you scored a touchdown to where you spiked the ball.
So now we have a pitching change, and Thornton will take over playing shortstop. J.P. Marshall now comes in relief.
Something about the name J.P. Marshall. I just feel like investing with him. I just feel like
John Paul Marshall.
There you go. Why not? Was it J.P. Morgan I'm thinking of?
J.P. Morgan.
Yes. I don't know who I'm thinking about right now.
Pretzels.
Yeah, pretzels. Cinnamon Toast Crunch pretzels.
Ooh, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Cinnamon Toast Crunch makes very good marshmallow crispy treats. Instead of using Rice Krispies, if you use the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, because in the heat kind of like ignites the cinnamon, so it like deepens the flavor.
Never thought of that.
Yeah. I highly recommend. Like, I won't eat Cinnamon Toast Crunch just in a bowl like cereal, but when I make marshmallow treats, that's my cereal of choice.
Your culinary confection.
I don't think anybody has them on sale this week. I'll have to wait.
Dun, 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 dun. So Morgan gave us a display. Is it Morgan or Marshall? I want to get
Marshall.
it right. Marshall.
J.P.
Excuse me.
Marshall.
Yes. Marshall showed us a little bit of his arm at shortstop on that last play. Made a fine play, actually, and a nice throw over to first base. So we know he's got a little zip on his arm. Can he throw strikes to stop these?
That's the question, because we saw him on the mound last week against Cristo Rey.
I'm not sure if this is considered an injury replacement, because it seems like he's getting a lot of pitches to warm up. And anytime that your pitcher leaves the game because of some type of injury, then the next pitcher can come in and get as many warm-ups as he needs or deems himself ready. And so it looks like Marshall.
Got to tuck in the do-rag.
Marshall is loose and has found his spot.
But if in fact it is an injury substitution, you have to wonder about balls that are, kind of hit to the sixth hole, because we did see Thornton kind of limp, and maybe that's why he threw the ball down in disgust. There's something about him being able to either plant or push off. So we'll see if his mobility is tested at shortstop. First pitch from Marshall is in there for ball one.
Smith, the shortstop, trying to find a pitch to drive. 2 on.
Swings, comes up empty. 3 balls, 1 strike. Loses the hitter. So the bases are full. Swing and a miss for Saron Bryant. That pitch is outside, ball one. Comes up empty on that swing as well. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And he goes down swinging. That strikeout brings up Alonzo Bird.
And credit Marshall for coming in a tight situation here and being able to focus in, find his spot, find his control, command, and get that big strikeout.
3rd strikeout by Bryant. There's a perfectly hit ball. It's a gapper, rolls all the way to the fence in right. 1 runs in, 2 runs in, 3 runs come across, and that is a stand-up 3-run triple for Bird.
You talk about breaking a game wide open, and the thing I loved about Bird's approach was he stayed calm and he jumped on a pitch that was middle in, and he got out front of that and drove it to the gap, and that's perfectly placed baseball. He couldn't have had a better approach at all. A tremendous job of staying very calm and hitting the ball straight to that right field gap.
Ball gets away, but Bird stays at 3rd. Brings up John Wilson, who has a walk and a strikeout. That one's fouled straight back. Swing and a miss. One ball, 2 strikes. That one's fouled out of play. Count remains 1-2. Marshall delivers. That pitch is low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ball gets away from the catcher. Chases Bird back to 3rd. So now we got a full count. And that's ball 4. After being ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes, Marshall loses the hitter. So now there's runner on the corners. Looks like we're going to have position change. Gonzalez was in and right. He comes off. And so now we have 2 outfielders. Lots of open space.
Hit it straight up the middle.
Runner still second without a throw. Ball gets away. Run scores. Trailing runner moves up to third. Working squares up to bunt.
Wilson really getting down that line. A good snap throw from the catcher, and he'd be laid out. You want to have your catcher to be a little bit more aggressive than that. There's no way that Wilson should be able to get that far down the line and be able to retreat.
Tries to bunt, but bunts foul.
He's going to bunt again.
Takes ball 4. Working with back-to-back walks. Third and the 4th.
Well, here we go again. I'm going to call a delayed steal here, and if not a double steal.
See, as we have the shortstop holding. Shortstop was in position at second, but the courtesy runner still takes second. Lays down the bunt. Marshall can't field it cleanly.
And a safety squeeze there.
$11-5 is your score.
nothing like seeing a good fundamental bunt being placed. You know, people think that you can hit a 3-run homer to win a game. You can win more ball games by bunting and proper placement of the baseball when you bunt in the right situations than the chance that you can hit a big 3-run walk-off home run.
Yeah, Marshall trying to come off the mound to make a play on that defensively, but wasn't able to field it cleanly.
I'm sure Evans will be going. There he goes. Trots the second base.
Tracy Thomas started this inning with a double. As the Blue Tigers bat around. Takes the ball. 2 balls, 1 strike is the count. Got a timeout called for a uniform adjustment.
A la Steve Lyons. Take you back to the early 90s. Steve Lyons was playing for the Chicago White Sox. Head first dive into first base and makes the adjustment at first. Drops his pants. Psycho Steve Lyons.
Ball gets away. Runner holds at third. Ball shot, driven into short left. He gets past the left fielder, drives in 2 more runs. (13-5).
And that was just a great opportunity to manufacture some runs. We saw small ball. We saw a big-time clutch base hit, driving in some RBIs. So this is one of those times where the Blue Tigers are starting to light it up.
That ball's fouled out of play. There's a lot of ground to cover because East now down to just 2 outfielders. Ball fouled away by Sanchez. Ball is lifted high. Ovalle makes the catch at third. And there are 2 away now.
Great play by Ovalle.
Thomas steals third.
There's just something about the pickoff at third base, especially when you're down. How many runs?
8.
Yeah, let's do the math.
Ani Alturi with his first plate appearance. Swing and a miss for the strike. It's a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. Three and 1. Alturi is aboard after the walk.
And you can see Marshall just kind of going through some calisthenics out there, just loosening up, trying to get refocused, getting his body right, trying to get in tune to buckle down and throw strikes because he's kind of missed his way, missed his spots, but he's got to get better command over his pitches.
And at the wild pitch, another run scores as Thomas comes home. And if you look at the shadows now, Marshall's lower half, like below the knee, is in the shadows, but his torso is still in the sun. That's pitches for a ball. Ball 2. Lifts one towards right center. And doubles off the runner. But not before Lincoln Prep scores 8 runs in the inning.
Can I just be frank? Does anybody care? I mean, I'm not only that to you. I'm saying I'm just seeing like a lack of effort on both sides right here. A great play made by the center fielder.
The body language.
The body language of everybody. I mean, to get doubled up, I mean, because we don't have a scoreboard here, so it's hard to tell how many outs there are, but to get doubled up, and then once you do double the guy out, the defense should be sprinting off the field to get in and rally up and make some plays. But I'm just seeing just the lack of
enthusiasm
and enthusiasm on both sides. And I'm not here to make any excuses. I don't care about, this is just how we play. I don't care about that. Bottom line is it's baseball. You respect the game of baseball. You hustle on the field. You hustle off the field at all times. If anybody's got a problem with that, my phone number is. I'm just kidding.
And we've seen, like, the first inning, East was clicking offensively, scoring, putting up a crooked number, putting up a 4 spot, to have the lead. But then since then, they just kind of, the energy level has dropped, the production has dropped. And there's been a lot of defensive positioning switches have been made.
All right, I'm off my soapbox for the moment. I just,
Had to vent.
I did. There's so much to the game. I mean, when you think about it, there are so many kids out there and people out there that would love to be on a beautifully manicured field right now, playing the game of baseball with no care in the world. And it's just, it's disheartening when you see people not respecting the game in the way that they should.
And the weather's great.
Beautiful weather here. And, Kansas City, it may snow tomorrow. I think we may have thunderstorms tomorrow, actually.
Tomorrow night, yeah.
Yeah,
the Royals win today.
That's always a good thing.
Beating Detroit.
Yes.
Sweeping Detroit. So now it's first place all by themselves in the AL Central. They had a matinee game.
I think the key was bringing Dyson back. Maybe that's what it was.
And everyone was concerned on the eve of opening day when Adalberto Mondesi was put on the IL. But Nicky Lopez has been a formidable replacement.
And Lopez wasn't even scheduled to make the opening day roster, so you got to give him credit for that. Hey, we've been talking about faces in the crowd. There's another one, Chris Evans. You may have seen Chris as the Buck O'Neill.
Not the actor.
No, not that. No, not Captain America. The original Chris Evans in Kansas City, but T-shirt king, also coach of the Kansas City Kings. But Chris won the humanitarian award this week, so congratulations going out to Chris for all the things he does about youth baseball and the things going on here in Kansas City. He always has his finger on the pulse. Chris Evans, a guy I've known since I was 9 years old, and has done a great job of developing young men throughout the Kansas City area and turning them into high-quality baseball players. Isaiah is his son, and you saw how Isaiah laid down that bunt to get that squeeze play on. That's about fundamentals, and it's all about going back and teaching these kids the fundamentals of baseball.
Workin is ready for action. Throws a strike. As Vega swings at a ball at his shoulders. One ball, one strike. Ball was in the dirt. 2-1. Swings at another one, and he goes down swinging. A strikeout for Vega. Trez, how important is it to get the leadoff hitter to go down swinging?
Well, typically your leadoff hitter and your first, I would say, 5 guys are your big-time guys in the lineup. So when you get that first guy down, it really does, it can take away motivation for the other team and, just add on to yours.
So now Cleveland Garrett steps in. He struck out. He was caught looking in his last plate appearance. He also has reached base courtesy of a walk. Trez, what was your preferred position?
Growing up, I played everywhere, mainly center field, and when I got to high school, I played center field, left field, and a year at third base. But overall, my preferred position was probably center field.
All right. Garrett looking at 3 balls. That one easily missing the zone, and he is aboard. 4 straight balls. So he reaches first for the second time, courtesy of the walk. Vu now steps in. He hit into the 6-3 ground out his last time up. Runner takes off for first. That throw is offline. And Garrett goes in standing up. Ball gets away from the catcher's glove, allowing Garrett to scamper down to third base. After starting off the inning with a strikeout, working it now having location issues, walking back-to-back hitters. And we're going to have a position change for Lincoln Prep. Working, coming in, we just won out in the first inning. The freshman delivering, working 3 2/3 innings.
And from both teams, you see that there are a lot of walks and, everybody getting on base because of the other team. I've seen probably mainly from Lincoln, probably a few hits in the gap, maybe some contact from the Bears. But overall, in order to stop big innings and having everybody score, the big important thing is to first stop the walks.
So Elliot Abnos now takes the mound in relief. Abnos started the game at shortstop. Warm-up toss is complete. Perez at the plate now. Runner takes off. That throw in time. Caught stealing.
And as a runner on first base, you think a lot of times when somebody is on third, they're not going to throw down. But, sometimes you got to catch them by surprise if you need an out. So, great job by the catcher.
Second out of the inning. Caught looking. So after 2 strikeouts and 2 walks, we go to the bottom half of the 5th. And that will do it. East a 14-5, or excuse me, Lincoln Prep a 14-5 winner over East. We thank you for joining us here from a beautiful afternoon of baseball at Satchel Paige Stadium. Thank you for watching the KCPS High School Baseball Game of the Week.